Hello, hello, everybody out there. This is Kristen Fagan with Softlex Company, and I am here with a bunch of my wonderful jewelry designer friends, and we're here for a new collaborative design party featuring Inspired by Sundance. Hope you're all doing fantastic out there, and I'm going to go ahead and reveal all of our guests today. Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, friends.
Thanks so much for being here with me on a beautiful Friday night. And just so happy that you all are hanging out and going to be inspired by Sundance. This kind of snuck up on me. Thank you, Cynthia, for reminding me that we were doing it. It was on my calendar, but that calendar can be kind of busy.
Yeah, I was like, I see this, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything in the chat. Surely I'm not the one. That would be weird.
You were the one. Cynthia was the one that was on it this time around. So we appreciate you for that.
Well, you know, it's funny. I had seen, you know, I love it when I get the catalog. And I have been known to save my past catalogs going back. I don't even want to say how far back. But when they come in, I'm like, oh, I'm going to spend some time with this.
I love it. So you get them right now regularly? Is that what's reminded you about it?
Yeah, I do. And then, you know what? I will look at the old ones. I said to Zelia, where's the one that we were just looking at? And she goes, oh, Mom, that's holiday 2023. I was like,
well, they're all good, right? So
I'll still look at it.
Let me introduce everyone, and then let's take a look at Cynthia's catalog she's got, because some of you might not know what Sundance is. So today we've got Abbi with the Bead Place with us. Hi, Abbi.
Hi, everybody.
And we've got Danielle Wickes of Danielle Wickes Jewelry. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, everyone.
And we've got Deb Floros from Deb Luvs Jewelry. Hello, Deb.
Hello, everybody.
And of course, we have Cynthia Thornton with Green Girls Studios. Hi, Cynthia.
Hey, friends.
So I'm going to go ahead and highlight you, Cynthia, so you can share with us your Sundance catalog.
I know, I love it. I've been getting this catalog for I don't know how long. It's been going since, I think, 1969. I don't know that the catalog has been going, but it's one of those, I just feel like it has a good, it's like a Southwestern sort of flair, wouldn't you guys say?
Yeah.
Kind of rustic.
I like all that knit stuff. It's all pink.
This one is from 2023. I just happened to grab it. I didn't see the one. They have a jewelry one specifically. But one of the things they're known for is doing jewelry and things that are pretty high-end. There's some high-end things in here. And it was funny. I went to visit Kate's store in Palo Alto so many years ago. I don't even know how many years ago. And people were bringing in the catalog and trying to make things. Like, see, these earrings are, let me see how much these are. This is from a while ago. $225 for these beaded earrings. You know?
Amazing.
I like seeing it because it's as though
it makes
that. But you know, there's a lot of people that can't, and that means that if they see these prices, you're at a show, or if you're, then it's less. If you have your work, it's not so scary when someone sees the prices and they're not like, what? If they're used to not, going to festivals or whatever, they're, maybe confused. It's not glass, but gemstone. This, I think, is pretty signature Sundance, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. That's totally signature Sundance. I think it's really good to remember. I feel like as people that do make things, right, like as creatives, we can sometimes undervalue what we make because we know how to do it. And if someone doesn't know how to do it, they will pay for it, right? So looking at catalogs like this, it reminds you of that.
Yeah, see that? Like the leather and gemstone, pretty standard Sundance. I think they're pretty much the first people that I remember seeing to make that really popular. That kind of juxtaposition between metal and like gemstone with something like seed beads. It's kind of unexpected, I think, is the the thing like this little. How they have the seed beads right around that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just
I
a
love
little
it.
detail. thing.
Is juxtaposition going to be our word of the night again?
Of course. Yeah,
Dude.
we have to all go. I feel like they have a signature look too of being, they do that asymmetry really well, and they do like that mixture of materials really well.
Yeah, there's a good example. Oops, that was just one of my boards. It was balanced on my lap. Thankfully, I didn't put beads in it yet. So this one, look, another one with some kind of, I don't know if that's leather. I think it's probably leather, but the multi-strand with leather. They've been doing that style for a really long time. But I think it's made fresh with whatever beads you choose, you know? I mean, stones, they come in and out of fashion, as we all know.
Mhm.
So, you know, sometimes you can want something to be readily available, but maybe not. Like when we were doing the pearl thing, the pearl kits, you know, you can't get faceted pearls anymore. That was like super popular 15 years ago. Maybe now, not so much. You know, you don't see it as often. So it's the same thing with a lot of gemstones, you know. So it's that, I think, is what can keep it current, is different cuts.
Yes, I agree. Oh, Becky is loving the necklaces you're wearing, Cynthia.
Oh, thank you. These are crocheted pieces, kind of inspired. They're kind of ones that I've made using really old beads. This one has African glass, and you know what my friend Joanne, she calls it ancient trash, because
I love that.
glass. But I don't know if y'all know this story. Some of these ancient treasures were, you know, unearthed in a landfill in Afghanistan. So whenever there's a storm, some of that stuff is unearthed, and they can find, it's like broken, you know, pots and things. But, you know, you can cut really pretty beads with it. So
Yep.
Very pretty. I love that idea. Amanda says she used to cut out the catalogs and make inspiration journals with them.
yeah,
Such a
I
good
would do
idea,
that
right?
too. I think that's a lot of fun to do that. I was thinking of showing one that I made a long time ago, but I think I showed that before. So, you know.
Well, you never know. You might have some new people hanging with us. I'm going to pop back up to everybody. And just, how do you want to do this tonight? Do you want to kind of just go around and just share what you're thinking and what you have, and then we can get making and kind of go back as people are doing things? Does that sound like a good plan?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Abby, you want to go next?
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Would you mind featuring my hand cam?
You got it.
Thank you. So I, like some of the others tonight, was feeling a little bit maybe sick lately. And so I quickly looked at the Sundance Catalog website because I couldn't even find my paper catalog. And I was like, okay, let me get some inspiration from the website. Somebody earlier in the comments mentioned that the website is a great way to get inspiration without paper if you don't do paper. So that's definitely the route that I took. And on the main part of the website, when you click jewelry, there's a whole feature on turquoise and how turquoise is timeless, but how it is popular this fall. So we rounded up some of our favorite shapes and strands of turquoise dyed magnesite. So what's in our little jumbo inspiration box this time around is not actual turquoise. I do want to say that it is not real turquoise. It's magnesite, which is kind of a similar stone, but it has been dyed a turquoise color so that we can get 80 inches of beads without having to sell the house or take out another mortgage or something. So we did a jumbo inspiration box for you guys this time, just because we want you guys to have a lot of fun playing with just different shapes of the.
Ooh, you cut out a little bit for a second there, Abby. But that's okay. The picture is beautiful. I love this kit. I think. Oh, there you're back. Oh, maybe you're not.
I hate it when that happens to me.
I know. It happens to all of us. Okay, I
Can
think
you
you're
guys
moving
hear
around.
me or no?
I can hear you now. You just froze for a bit there. It looks like you're back.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry about that. So this kit, if you want to check out the link, Softlex just dropped it in chat for us. So we have 3 different full strands, 1 jumbo half strand. We've got some Thai silver inspired pieces. We've got some vintage pearls that to me kind of are reminiscent of like the Navajo silver pearls. And it's just a lot of fun. And if you guys use code Sundance20, you can get 20% off this kit at beadplace.net. And it's just a lot of beads. So I wanted to string all the beads together just to kind of show you what you can do if you put them all together. Of course, you can break them apart into lots of different projects because there's a ton of beads here. There's over 80 inches of beads. But if you string them all together into one long strand, you can get either a double wrap or a triple wrap necklace or like a million wraparound bracelet. And it's just a lot of fun to mix all the textures together. So that is my main thing that I wanted to show you guys tonight. And we have that 20% off deal for anybody who uses code Sundance20 at beadplace.net. You can get 20% off this kit. And then I'm going to be, like, as we're talking, working on a project with some super beautiful high-end transparent angelite. So I'll just see how this comes together. But we've got this on the website as well. So that's me. Hopefully you guys heard some of that.
Yes, we did. And I love how long that necklace is. Like, that is just amazing to have that much to play with. And those little drops in the swirl are super fabulous. They're so cute.
Fun. Thank you.
I think you did a great job, and that angelite is lovely. I can't wait to see what you decide to make with that. Great ideas, Abby.
Thank you.
Anne is asking if you can just get the heart or the spiral, or if it's only in the kit.
So the heart is just in the kit, but we will have the spirals available on the website soon. They were brand new and they looked perfect with our jumbo box of turquoise inspiration. So we had to throw them in the kit, and we haven't loaded them to the website yet, but they'll be on there soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lots of love for that. Ginny says it's beautiful. So does Becky think it's really cool.
Thank you, guys.
Looks totally Sundance, says Kara. Awesome. All right. Let's see what we got going on with Danielle over there.
Hey.
Do you want me to bring in your hand cam, Danielle? Would that be the best place to spotlight?
Yeah, I think so. I've got what is going to become my Customer Appreciation Week kit.
Oh, how wonderful. I know I'm so behind on that. It's happening though. It's happening. Next week is the kickoff. And so thanks for giving us a little head start here, Danielle.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm using all my time really wisely. And so I thought, hey, I'm going to have this great time to sit and bead with friends and get your opinions while I design. So you can tell me.
Super smart of you.
I've got for sure decision made on these colors. This is the pink tourmaline. And I'm going to match the seed bead to it, which I think is just really pretty.
Perfect match.
And then I loved this blue. It's like a Prussian blue. I thought that would look so neat with the, I don't know, I just like to put pink and blue together. That's something that really, I think, looks very inspired. And then, of course, Sundance, we need some hearts, right? So, and some metals. Sundance likes to integrate faceted metals a lot, I've noticed. And so I took that as my inspiration to do for the findings and the terms. And then there'll just be some lobster claws and jump rings. There's going to be crimps included. I just need help deciding on the little spacer color. So right now I'm thinking gold, but I'm not stuck on it. What do you guys think? Bronze would be better, or a more metallic gold? That's where
Questions. What do you guys think?
I could even do like a dark blue.
Vicky's loving that blue. Jillian likes that blue too.
Yeah, I could pull in like a, this is Picasso. I don't know if we want to go Picasso there, but that could be cute. And I could also space them out so where there's a pink in between each of the blue ones and a blue in between each of the pink ones. That would maybe
Jennifer is saying alabaster cream Picasso.
Oh,
And
interesting. Okay.
Jillian likes bronze.
Bronze is good. Okay.
Anne likes gold. Melissa also likes the gold. Oh, another. Tina likes the gold.
There's a bronze.
Ooh, there's the bronze.
That would look really cool. Okay, I might have to do that. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is where I think I'm going with it. Maybe we'll take that one out because that's too sparkly. Okay.
Awesome. Bronze is very Sundance, says Becky.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's decide it. I will string this up and then hopefully maybe be able to show it if I finish it.
Very cool. Thanks, Danielle. I love it. I can't wait to see what happens.
Me too.
The suspense.
Right.
All right, Deb, I'm going to come over to you next. And then Cynthia, I'll come to you after. If you want to switch anything down, you can go ahead and do that. So let me find Deb. There she is.
Well, I have a bunch of goodies from Jesse James Bead. So Sarah James couldn't join us for this particular event. So she virtually tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, I can send you some things. And so I can't get enough of orange right now. I don't know why. It's just my latest obsession. And so I've got a collection of a couple of Jesse James Bead's mini mixes. So I've got one called Orange Creamsicle, this one here, like softer oranges, and then this orange bell pepper, which is kind of a bolder orange, and there's some copper. And then they still have some micro faceted gemstones. So I've got these little carnelian guys, and they are really beautiful. I've got a little bit by the dozen little orange pearls and some seed beads because I want to use that as my spacer. And then these fun little metal components, I've kind of started already to do some wire wrapping. And I was inspired, so I actually printed off some pictures from the website. So I was really inspired by this piece. So it's a double and a single strand, and there's a metal component here. So I'm kind of liking that, kind of thinking I'm going to use this oddly shaped one instead of a circular one. But I also like the idea of things kind of being a little bit monotone or monochromatic, all in the same sort of colorway versus, mixed colors and that kind of thing. So there's a few different things that caught my attention. Here's another one that's sort of all white, and then the sections are kind of blocked out. So I think I'm going to kind of take a combination of all of these beautiful inspirational designs and all of these beautiful pieces and parts and see if I can come up with something that looks and feels like Sundance.
Wonderful. I love that idea. It's always fun to be able to kind of pick and pull different pieces of inspiration and make it your own with little bits and bobs. So that sounds fabulous. And orange is super great right now. I have a bunch of orange on my table too, but yours is in that more creamy, creamsicle side of things, and I'm moving to like the red orange.
Ooh, well, I can't
So-
wait to see that. That's going to be fun.
Oh, it looks like a few other people are having fun with oranges. Also, Mary Ann, oranges all week with fall pieces,
Nice.
and loving the creamsicle, dreamsicle stuff.
Oh, lovely. Hi,
Very
Tina.
fun. All right, I'm going to come over to you, Cynthia.
Ooh, good. All right, so for this, Azalea and I worked on making this lovely little kit with some metallic leather. And let's open that out and see. It's some really pretty labradorite and some little gemstone. Those are teeny little tiger's eye. Those are so cute. You know, when we showed that picture of that necklace, this is what it was making me think of, is using tiny little accents in a contrasting color. So these are little teeny micro-faceted, if I could get a hold of it to show you. Let me see. Teeny micro-faceted tiger eye. And this is petersite, this here, which is kind of a swirly, I guess it's a blue, it's like a slate blue with regular colored tigers. It's kind of a weird stone because it's like a bicolor, you know. I think it's petersite is from Russia.
It's really pretty, and it's always got lots of different variation in there.
I know. I made this necklace inspired by Sundance. I don't know how many years ago. This is like 15 years ago. And I used some Softlex, and guess what? It didn't break. This is like 16 years ago, this necklace. Even the leather held up, surprisingly. But this was the part that I was most concerned about, was that join of a crimp. And this is like, I think Softlex medium.
Perfect. That's my favorite.
I know, it's like the standard. And this is, I know, look how complicated this is. I used a spacer so I could do this. Let me see if I could even do it. It's probably stuck in that position from being there for so long. But I could make it adjustable.
Oh, it's just tight enough to be able to move it and then hold.
And I used a little bit of wire here to attach these little old school melons from way back when. So this was my inspiration from Sundance. So I found these dark bluish colored labradorites and petersite and also some pewter spacers. And you know what? I was having a hard time deciding which bead to put with it, you know, because I kind of thought, I'll show you what I was thinking about doing. I was going to do this. But I want to make one while we're talking. This is the idea of putting one of my beads in this kit. And I think I sent over the kit link to you.
I did. I posted it in the comments.
Oh, you already posted it? Thank you.
Yeah.
So look how that will go with leather. This is actually might be too thick, but I've punched 2 holes, and I was thinking about, you know, it's hard to decide. I'm going to restring this while we're talking and make another variation. But I picked these out thinking, you know, one of those could work with it. But
that cross and the heart are super Sundancey. I feel like I see.
Know. That's what I thought too.
So cool.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's really fun working on making these kits and coming up with combinations. It's just kind of one of those things that just delights the spirit, you know, working with beads, you know, having the tactile experience of going through and touching all the stones and lining them up. It's just so fun. It really is. So now it's decision time.
To pull through your stash and kind of put things together. And
I know. Then there was beads I had forgotten that I'd made, and some I didn't. This is one that my sister made like 20 years ago. Has a little piece of a T.S. Eliot quote on the back.
Oh, that's really pretty.
Oh, thank you. And then this is kind of remind me of Sundance a little bit, but as a horseshoe. And this is a newer piece. It's supposed to be like a moon, but I also thought it could work with, having that kind of belt around it, Could go like this, where the piece of leather is held in place with two little holes like a button. See? I know it's kind of primitive, but I feel like it could work if I could get this leather is like buffalo leather, so it's very thick. You can see the two little holes. I'll mess with that more, but it's just kind of fun to experiment and see what happens,
What a great idea. I think the primitiveness of it is nice, though. I like that.
Yeah, I think it can work. I feel like it's like casual yet rustic,
That's sort of their vibe. Like it's like elegant, rustic, casual. How they make it work, I don't know, but they do.
Yeah, and then it looks like it's a lot of money. That's
Right.
the key. That's the real gift they have for putting all those stones together to make a beautiful mix. And I think it's expected color blends is what it is too.
Definitely. You're getting a lot of love for all of your pieces and the leather, that idea, the cross, the horse, the unicorn, and also that slider. Super clever.
Oh, thank you. What is I used some of your wire, the beading wire, and I set it aside. The craft wire I feel like works really well for this project. And it comes in like silver and copper. I have a piece here. I was going to see this craft wire. I feel like it's a good, even though it's copper, I have it in silver too. And this is a good thickness,
Which gauge? The 2022. Yeah, I've been working with that gauge a lot lately.
Yeah, this one's a hair thicker. I dropped the spool and rolled under the table, so I have this much. Before I have to go play seek and find that roll.
I think we still carry a pewter color. We used to carry a pewter color. I think we still do. We should send you some if we do, because I really like it. It's a pretty pewter.
Oh, that's good. You guys have a lot of colors.
We do. I tend to use the same ones all the time, though, right? Isn't that always the case?
I know. I'm the same way. I love it. So, what's everybody else working on?
Well, I'm going to pop over to me over here for a minute. Let's go back to everybody. And then I put together a little collage earlier today, which were some things that inspired me when I was looking at the website, because I didn't have the new catalog. So I wanted to kind of check out. And these are some things that felt very either beading wire or craft wire-y that I could use as some inspiration. And I have a lot of turquoise and orange going now that I look at it. I must have been feeling into those tones. But yeah, I have a couple of ideas based on some of these pieces here. I don't know exactly where I'm going to go. Becky says, oh, the bottom left. I know that is like the colors almost. It's a little more orange than some of the colors I have on my table, but it was the closest to the Sunset Splendor kit that I'm working with. And so I think that's why I gravitated to some of the orange. And then there's always really pretty pearls. And I love these like drop earrings with the little disc at the bottom. Very simple and elegant looking. Great for fall. Yes, the blue stone with the orange on the brio earrings. I love those in the top left with the sort of, because I make that shape all the time with Softflex, but I don't always dangle a little briolette in the center. And I thought that looked so pretty, especially with the orange pop. So.
Yeah, I think that's really beautiful.
I love the mixture of textures too, because oftentimes you expect to see just a lot of faceted with faceted and the gemmy colors in traditional shapes. But when you have nuggets combined with faceted, kind of like bold impact colors, back to that juxtaposition word, it pops.
Just have to, yeah, it does pop. I think, and I agree. Juxtaposition always pops, doesn't it?
Yes.
So cool. So these were some of the things that were inspiring me. And I went over, like I said, to the website and just made a little collage of some fun things. I'm going to pop over to my table here. I've been playing with the Sunset Splendor design kit. It's our monthly kit right now. And I made these earrings last week. Well, I made one of them. So I'm still working on my second. So I've got that on my table. But I feel like it's got a little Sundance vibe to it. And I painted the ring on the outside with some of those ultimate paints. I liked how it has sort of different gemmy kind of feels on the bottom, even though these are all glass. And I liked playing with doing all different dangles instead of focusing on like the same dangle. I tried to really play with making each dangle different but complementary, which feels kind of Sundance-y to me. These are all the colors you got in the Sunset Splendor kit. We only have about 7 of these left, but they're such yummy fall colors with those oranges going to pinks, going to reds, and some coppers and some golds. Really cool. And what else do I got here? Some of these were in the kit too. These are also glass, but they have like that gemstone vibe. So I pulled those out to maybe play with. And then I kind of went to some of my live sale stash. We do a live sale once a week at Softflex Company. We do it on Thursdays. And I found that I had these little guys in there from one of our past live sales. And they reminded me of those earrings that you guys saw in the collage. So I pulled those out to maybe use. I don't know about this one, but it kind of went with my color scheme. And these are like really big. The name is totally spacing on me right now. I'm going to have to look it up and come back and tell you guys what it's called because I don't know why it's spacing. But check out this little mushroom from Cynthia over at Green Girl Studios.
Oh, cute.
A little painted mushroom, and it's in my color scheme. So I pulled that guy out. I don't know if it's totally Sundance-y, but they do have lots of little charms and things they hang off. So I thought maybe I'll put that in there. And one of these fun things, also from one of our live sales at Softflex Company that we picked up in Tucson. So that's what I have on my table is sort of reds and oranges, a little bit of pinks and garnet colored Softflex beading wire is what I'm using. I also have some antique brass, which I might use that one too, because that's one of my favorites. So I've got these two on my table to possibly play with.
They like metals. You see that pretty commonly.
I know, they do.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got it back to all of us right now. And if anyone wants to share and go on this big screen, let me know.
I think I'm ready.
Who's ready? Danielle's ready?
Here, this one.
All right, there you go.
And sorry, my color seems a little bit like not warm tonight. It's kind of like, I wonder if I could warm it up. Let's try. There we go. But it's finished. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like it? This is very Sundance.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Super cute.
Love it, Danielle.
Great colors.
Oh, thank you. And I feel like I'm going to do like a little 16-gram jar of this as a mix. So people could just keep going if they want, and they can make it multi-wrap and go all the way around. And maybe even space these out in a different way. They don't have to go exactly the same spacing that I did. And then they can put little charms at the end. And then something to clasp to. That's pretty much it. Something simple, but it's the kind of thing that I feel like I would put on a lot. So I like it.
Yeah, that would be
That's darling.
perfect to just by itself is for like the simplicity of it, or you can mix it up with other things really easily. And
Yeah, it could be stackable. That's a good idea.
yeah,
I should probably try that. I'd finish this one as just a standalone so it can be shown, just by itself. And then I'll just jump ring a bunch of extras onto it to show how you can take it up a notch.
that's a great idea. You can even try a different colorway if you wanted to and have a couple of them that you
Yes.
stack up, right?
I just saw that bronze and I'm like, I might need that one.
Very cute. I love the color blocking kind of effect and that it's very Sundance the way it's laid out. Really, really pretty. You're getting a lot of really pretty, very sweet and charming.
Well, thank you guys.
That little heart charm is so Sundance.
It is that teeny tiny one.
Yeah, doesn't it? It really does.
Darling.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Jillian would like it as a necklace also, she said.
Yeah, my kid's going to come with a full spool and enough beads to do that. So I feel like people could go to town and just really make it into whatever.
Oh, that's great. Oh, so you can easily make a few different, if you wanted to make a couple of bracelets too, because the kit will have enough for that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So it can become really anything you'd like.
Such a great idea. I love it. Anyone else want to share what they're working on?
I can go.
Okay.
Hopefully, can you guys hear me okay now? I reset my connection to the Wi-Fi on this device, so hopefully it's a little bit better. Let me know if it's still buffering. But so I'm working on doing a knotted project with that strand of green angelite. So I started by stringing my entire strand onto a spool of Aslan bead cord. And right in the middle of it, I placed that really cool kind of like ancient inspired coin. And I started with just one knot between the beads. And I quickly found that 2 knots is the way to go because I got about 6 beads in and I realized that my beads were starting to kind of go over the knots. So I'm just hand knotting these. But I want to show you guys a trick if you're interested in seeing. Sometimes hand knotting is really difficult for people to get their knots close. So when you're doing pearls or when you're doing knotted gemstones or something like that, you can take one of these knotting tweezers or like a bent tip tweezer and you start the knot, but you don't close the knot. You're going to put the tweezer in the loop and you're going to grab the bead grab the cord right on top of where your bead is. Make sure it's tight, but not so tight that your project is going to be kinked and not lay right. And then you're just basically going to tighten the knot down to the tip of the tweezers and then just slide the tweezers out and your knot is right where you want it to be. And so that tip is especially helpful when we're having to put 2 knots between the beads because 1 knot is not as difficult to place as 2 knots. So if you're trying to overlap your knots, you can just grab right beneath that little knot there that you've already placed and then tighten it and it's going to place that second knot right over the top of it. So I'm just going to be knotting until I get to my little coin and then I'm going to do a knot here and a knot here and then work all the way to the other side. And that's a finished necklace for me. So what else? What are you guys working on? I'm curious to see, Deb, if you have, or were you going to do a bracelet out of those beautiful oranges?
Yeah, I've got a partially done piece. I'm trying to figure out all the mechanics of it.
Yeah. Ooh.
So I did wire wrap on those little microfaceted gemstones onto this little frame piece. And what I'm doing, I think, is I'm gonna use 2 strands attached to the loop. So I've got kind of a color blocked section of the different tones. So, the different oranges, I've got kind of a, I don't know, this one's got some Abbi finish on it. So I'm going to start the next one with some bigger beads. So I've got some really cool crystals and some pearls, and that is not focusing. Let's see, there we go. So, and I'm using the seed beads in between. So I've got some 11 O's in an orangey color, and then I also put in some 15 O's in gold. So it's kind of pulling back the gold from this little frame piece. So I think I'm just going to have the strands go all the way around, and I'll attach a lobster, and maybe I'll put a jump ring on this side of this piece. And so it'll all circle around and attach to this, which is looking really like a bit of a sun. So a play on Sundance. I don't know. I just came up with that.
I love it. That's perfect.
So bit of a work in progress here.
That is looking lovely. It is looking so, so pretty.
Thank you.
It's gorgeous. I love your wire wraps that you did on the connector.
Thanks. I love those little stones. They're so easy to wrap.
Did you do that just now?
Yeah. Well,
Oh my
I had like 3 stones on before I started, and I just put the rest on.
You are so speedy, and it looks so well done.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I'm trying to get better at my wrapping, something I practice quite a bit.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So cool. You're getting a lot of love for that. Very lovely, Deb. Beautiful, Deb.
Thank you, ladies.
Your little orange seed beads are perfect in the center.
Yeah, I love a good seed bead for a spacer.
I love that about your designs too. I definitely take inspiration from you from time to time with that.
Oh, thanks. I just think, if you're not a seed beader, you can still use seed beads to jazz things up a little bit.
For sure. It's a nice way to frame your beads too and give them a little more importance, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. You can also get a knotted look. Like if you love the knotted look, but you either don't have the dexterity or don't have the time or patience, just a little size 11 seed bead in between your beads will make it look like it's been knotted. So we use that trick all the time here at the shop. For those of you that don't know, I am currently sitting inside of my store, the Bead Place, and we teach a lot of classes here. And sometimes people will bring in their broken jewelry, and a lot of times it's heirloom pearls and they want to learn how to reknot them. But they don't realize that reknotting them actually takes some time. And so they are very pleased when we tell them that the easiest way to get that knotted look while still having the security of a high-end piece of jewelry is to string it on soft flex jeweler's wire, and then just put a knot in between each, because although silk is strong, it's not as strong as soft flex. So when there's real valuable pearls and people are wanting to do it themselves, we often recommend jeweler's wire with the seed bead trick. And it's just it's a lot easier,
I extra love that. I do want to learn how to knot better though. So I'm going to come back to you for a second, Abby, and see your tip again. You were getting a lot of great comments for that knotting tip.
Yeah. So it's easy to get good knot placement when you have a longer strand, because the gravity kind of pulls it down. So if it feels awkward when you're knotting at first, you're not alone. Once you get a little bit further in, it's easier. So we're just basically doing an overhand knot like this, and I'll try to get a little closer. I know my Wi-Fi is not the best right now, so hopefully it's focusing and clear. But you have the beginning of an overhand knot, and then you're going to put your knotting tweezers right inside that knot. And sorry for the earthquake. I just tapped my tripod with the end of the tweezers. So you're going to go inside the knot, and you're going to grab right above your bead. And then you're just going to slide down just like that. And then I like to keep my fingers pinched right here so that knot doesn't run away. And then it's, as long as you don't let it run away, it's right where you want it to go. So sometimes I'll use just my hands, but that's just when I'm feeling lazy or can't find my knotting tweezers. But I would say most of the time I'll use my knotting tweezers if I'm double knotting. But when I say knot by hand, it just is basically this, where you're just using your fingers to push the knot next to the bead. So it's possible. I just usually don't get as tight of a knot or as precise of a placement when I do it that way. So that's my tip.
Lori is wondering where she can purchase the knotting tool. Do you sell the tweezer?
We do, yeah. I'll get a link and I'll drop it into the private chat, and then if you wouldn't mind, Kristen, putting it in the main chat.
You got it.
Just a second, please.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can post it too, Becky. Thank you.
Oh sure, yeah, Becky's awesome.
So Becky's here. She also posted it. You can find it at beadplace.net. Look for bent tweezer. Thank you.
There's also like a specific knotting tool that we have on beadplace.net. So if you see like a knotting tool show up that's not this, you're looking for the tweezer, the bent nose tweezer, not the knotting tool. If you want to check out the knotting tool, that's cool too. It's a pretty neat tool, but this, in my opinion, is faster.
Cool. Let's see what Cynthia's up to over there. I'm going to pop over to your screen, Cynthia.
Hi. Here's what I've been doing. So I connected some Softflex to this piece of sparkly leather, and I kind of found a rhythm with some of these stones.
Loving that.
You know?
I'm loving the little brown pieces picking up that leather. Oh my gosh.
So when I feel like you're working with a bunch of different textures, so we have smooth rounds, kind of like little pebbles, and then you have more of this faceted rondelle. I space them so it does look like a little knot, but here I call this the showcase. If you use those little, you could use seed beads, you can showcase different stones, and here it's kind of like a little pop or a callback to the colors here. So when we were when y'all were talking, I put this together just to see what would happen. I chose this. I did 2 little holes on either side. That is so sloppy. I apologize ahead of time for that. We'll just hide it. I'll do it better when I'm off screen. But I used that to come through like a button and pinch it on the other side. So you know what? You could make that removable. So if your necklace had a button or something, you could just slide that right off if you wanted to. So I'm going to do the similar thing here and have my pendant seated right in this area with this other little piece of leather. And then I just have to choose what I'm going to use from my stash here.
Ooh, so much fun. Jennifer said she already bought your kit and some other pewter goodies as well. Hooray.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So then I have to decide if I'm going to use like this moon. I feel like moons kind of crop up in the catalog, and hearts and crosses. Hearts and crosses, they seem to gravitate towards that, I think. You see, this one's kind of a rustic cross. And then, let's see, they do have button closures. So I was kind of deciding if I wanted to do a button closure that was sort of like, I don't know, maybe like this, where it hooks up and has a kind of a loop, and then do maybe a kind of a wrapped, you know, that kind of seed bead wrap around that leather. I think it looks really pretty, and probably has the function as well of sort of making that loop very sturdy if you were to go around it with wire and seed beads. I would think that would be, I mean, also being decorative, you know. I don't know if I'll finish it. I am always optimistic that I'll finish, but you never know. This is pretty fun, just, you know, creating while listening to everyone talk about their inspirations. It's kind of soothing, you know.
It's definitely soothing. It looks like we had a question for you about how did you connect the Softlex to the leather?
Oh, that's an easy one. So right here, I don't know if that's in focus, but I have a little crimp, and I poked a hole in this leather, and I used, oh man, I hate to show these because they're so abused.
Oh my
I
God,
have
they're
another one.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, but you know, I just can't throw anything out. It's so embarrassing. But anyway, this has a tip. They come in different sizes. See, this is a bigger one, and I can use this. These things can punch, you know, you can punch a lot. Here, I'll show how to punch it. Let me see. How long should I make that? You know, one of the things if I wanted to make this so that it could wrap around, I don't want to undo this, but if I don't add a pendant, or if I make it a removable pendant that you can just slide off, this could actually be a wrap bracelet. And if you know what what is that, the circumference of your wrist, I mean, standard, it's usually 7 inches. So if you did something that was the length was the total, like that was divisible by 7, you would, in theory, it should fit, right? So if I wanted to wrap it 3 times, I'd make it 21 inches. So I'm going to make it, that was just me eyeballing it. All right, I'm going to cut that. Hopefully it works as intended, or then I can just add another link. Okay, where'd the things go? Here it is. There's so much wire and stuff on here, it gets to be not very tidy. Okay, so you put your end of your leather in. This is very narrow. Usually you'd think that that would be kind of too narrow, but it seems to work. Another way that you could do this, and with this size, what I usually do is I do a fold over technique, and I'll fold it and make a crimp out of wire. That is usually very decorative and looks really pretty, and I do that. This time I did this because I wanted to see if it would work. And you just make a little punch right in the middle. It kind of sounded like a little bite, didn't it? Like if a squirrel was going to bite a nut, that was like the sound of its teeth.
A little chomp.
A little chomp chomp.
So you would poke that through your Softlex. You'd poke right through there, just like that. Now this is assuming I'm not going to put anything else. I was just demonstrating. This would not, there would be no like button if I did it this way. Do you see? That's just like a continuous, but if I want to put a button, I'll have to add it either on this side or on this side. And so there's a bunch of choices. What I usually like to do is to make a loop like this with seed beads. That's my favorite way. And then make this side into my loop. So in order to finish this, I would have to put on a crimp and then squeeze the crimp closed with crimping pliers, or just flatten it. So that's how I did this side. Right here, you could see the crimp, and then I just loaded it up afterward. But since I want to put a button, I think I'll use this. It's not a button, but I think that would look good right there. And I'll put that on. So I guess I could show how to put a crimp on this. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah,
That's
do
easy.
it.
That's easy. Now the only hard part is stringing up some of these little small micro faceted tiger eye. There
That's
you
the hardest. The hardest part.
go. It's hard if you don't put any optivisors on or if you don't put on your glasses. I feel like sometimes I get lazy with going and running to find my glasses and I'll just sort of eyeball it. But that doesn't often work. Sometimes you can do it by feel. Someone was telling me that they could use one of those seed bead things, but you know what? I don't know if it's my technique. You know that when it like rolls and spins, and then you have to put your fishing line or whatever, so it scoops up the beads. I think that works only.
Oh, the spinner. Yeah, I feel like that only. Someone said it only works like with certain materials. I think.
Yeah, I think that works like on TV.
Yeah.
That's like those camera trick things. You're like, yeah, that works in theory. But the one I was doing, I had beads flying all over the place. I was like, I must be doing this wrong. I might be twisting it too aggressively.
I've never
think-
tried one. Abbi,
I
have you
think-
tried it?
Yeah, we sell them right and left, and people love them around here. But I want to tell you the trick is to spin it way slower than you think you need it. Because if you spin it fast at all, you are going to be stepping on seed beads for days. Well, unless you
that's
vacuum, but
probably
who
what
does that?
That's probably what happened.
Yeah. And Kristen was right. It has to be like the right kind of bead. Like we have a lot of people make waist beads with them. Waist beads are really big around here. And it's like it would need to be probably like anywhere between size 11 seed beads and size 8 seed beads are going to get, or I'm sorry, size 6 seed beads that are probably going to give you the best chance of success. But even then, it's like you have to make sure it's just the right speed and just the right angle of the needle too.
That's what I was thinking. That needle angle might be kind of tricky.
Yep.
So it's not just spin it quick and shove that needle in and hope for the best.
No, it's like a perfect science. But once you get it, man, is it just such a great tool to have.
I wouldn't recommend doing it live.
No.
I've done it live a couple times now, and I have a tendency to embarrass myself, and it wasn't too horribly embarrassing, but it's a little tricky to show live.
So brave.
Perfect.
I feel like the people I know that have had success tend to use a lot of seed beads with it too. Is that common?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's it's an easier way to load a lot of seed beads if you've got like a long strand that you're trying to load up. It can save some time.
Yeah. One thing about the bead spinners that people are a little disappointed to hear is that, you can't pick which beads go on. So like you couldn't make a pattern.
Right. It's more like
It's
a mix.
just at random. We have a customer who makes a ton of waist beads to sell, and she has like 4 or 6 bead spinners going at a time so that she can do patterns. So she'll do like color blocked sections and just dip the needle into whatever color she needs at any given time. And then I've never seen them like in real life, but apparently there's like electric bead spinners too that like spin it for you. I don't know.
That sounds like that's advanced mode.
Right. Yeah.
If you,
I'm a little scared of that.
Like if you're not at pro level at like the manual, then that's like, it's like the knitting machine.
Yeah, or like the electric spinning wheels, those freak me out. Like I can barely even spin on a spinning wheel as it is.
So
So
I have a little one. I I've never taken it out of the box.
An electric one or a like tabletop?
It's
Kind of.
electric tabletop.
Oh, best of both worlds.
It's really small. It's like this.
What?
Yeah, it's called the electric eel, and it's very small.
That's cool.
And I thought I was going to be spinning stuff. I bought all the stuff to spin.
Mm-hmm.
First, I thought, I'm going to try out doing this. It looks fun. I'll spin my own yarn.
Yeah.
Then I was like, wait a minute. No one said, because I had bought a spindle.
Yeah.
One of those.
Like a drop spindle.
Drop spindle.
Uh-huh.
I did not know that it would take 3 years to finish 2 feet. It was so slow. I was like, wait a minute. I did not know that this was going to take so long. But then I got that electric one, and I looked at it, and then now it's in my studio, just hanging out, waiting for me to get the feeling.
Yep.
You know how it is when you get the feeling to do something that you've never done before.
Yeah. I bought a silhouette machine, and I took it up to the shop here, and like we all unpacked it together and looked at all the parts and pieces and the CD that like loads the program, and we were like, not today, another day. So it sat on the back table for a while out on the store floor, and then we had to clean up the store floor because we were going to be on a morning show here in St. Louis. And so it was like, okay, well, I guess we're not going to open this box and get into it. So we just put it in the office, and that's where it'll be for another couple of years. And it's okay because it'll be there for when I'm ready for it, I guess. I don't know.
Everything has its season, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I like that reasoning. That's
yeah,
good.
You might not be ready for it now, but at some point you will be.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I just know my limits, and I know myself. So that's my excuse.
Crafting honesty.
Becky,
There we go. I'm just honest.
Becky says she keeps bugging you to play with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
I was just thinking that, Becky. I was like, Becky's going to have to use it. She said, if you don't get it out soon, she's going to get it out.
Mm-hmm. She will too.
You could test it out and see.
Mm-hmm.
And then another Becky says she has several spindles and a spinning wheel. The wheel goes so much faster than using the drop spindle.
Yeah, it does. I was like, how did anyone make clothes with this? I could not.
Oh my gosh.
Understand.
You know the spindle whirl beads, like the Molly spindle whirl beads, that like the black clay kind of beads. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
No.
They're like little, well, some are bigger than others, but they're the tops of spindles, like drop spindles, and they've like made them into beads now. And I look at them all the time. We have a couple different sizes here in the store, and I'm like, how in the world did they use something so small to like produce clothing? Like, it just blows my mind that anyone would be hand making such fine threads to then turn into something usable. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be that blown away by that because I knit and crochet and use seed beads, but I just am amazed by it.
It's nice to be amazed by things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than being underwhelmed.
Yes, that's true.
Should we come back and see what Deb is up to? How are you doing over there, Cynthia? Are you attaching something right now? Oh, there you go.
I'm doing a poor job of attaching leather. You know,
So you're making a loop with the wire, wrapping it around.
it's wrapping around and around. I'm chasing it all over the place. Like, I'm like, how come I'm not, you know, sometimes you get where you think you know what you're doing, and then you don't really.
Oh, that happens to
Confidence.
me all the time.
I would tell people I know how to make this, but I think my wire is just too thick. You know, when you get too much, it's so thick that you're like, how come this is not doing what I want it to do? But if it's too thin, then it's too like, it doesn't have the, I don't know what the word is, strength, flexibility. Oh. Yeah, gosh. It's like I'm making it worse. Look at that. And I'm like, what is with my fingers tonight? You ever have that happen where the stuff you're making looks like you're like, hey, listen, I'm a professional, I promise. I've been doing this a long time. Y'all don't judge me from this. It's just, you know, sometimes that happens where it's just not looking like you hope it will look.
My fingers are definitely not working with me today.
I feel like there's something to like how if it's gonna go wrong at any point, it's gonna go wrong when you're live on stream.
Oh,
When
yes.
people are watching and expecting something good,
Yeah.
especially if you've talked it up. If you have in any way bragged about it, you will for sure have some kind of issue by the end of it.
Either you brag, or even if you're like, this is so easy, let me show you. And then you're like,
What's easy?
Look, I didn't even measure that correctly. Well, I didn't measure it, so that's to be expected. See what happens if you don't measure, then expect it to be kind of loose. Because I was like, I can eyeball 21 inches, can't you? There's no ruler. Well, that's
So
how
enjoy Cynthia.
if you just look at this way, I can do like this. Say if I was taking a picture, you know what I would have done? I would have done this number right here.
Oh,
Just
I know
wrap it
that
over.
trick.
Yeah, drop that right there. Take the
I know that trick real
I-
well.
now the
I love
tricks
that.
of the trade.
We all do that.
And then people be like, how did you connect it? Oh, I just used a simple wrapping technique. It's not easy. Anybody can do it there.
It's beautiful. It is really beautiful.
It's
Very, very cool.
and you know what would be good is if I put them in there for the purpose of using it like a slide and adding a charm. But guess who forgot to put those on there? Dang it. Sometimes I'm just like cooking gas, I tell you. So anyway, you're gonna have to visualize the charms that would have been seated elegantly.
We can definitely visualize it.
We can totally see
It would be beautiful.
I don't know that I could bring myself to cut that sweet, sweet piece of wire work that I did there. No, I don't think I can do it. I fought with it live on camera for a good 5 minutes. So
I agree with Ginny. She says it's beautiful, Cynthia, and she likes that it looks homemade.
The old loving hands of home. Or when someone says the worst, you all know this one. Oh, look, I made it. And if someone says, oh, yes.
Yes, you did.
Then you're like, oh, what?
Oh my gosh. I can see. I can tell you made that.
I can totally see that you did that.
Bless your heart.
Oh my. If you get to bless your heart, then you know you need to just pack up your stuff and go home.
Yeah, that's the day you
Go,
quit.
you need to take a nap.
I agree. Becky says handmade is beautiful. It is. And Liz is saying she would have never known you made a wrapping mistake. It just looks rustic. Laugh out loud. Love it.
So kind. So kind.
I'm gonna pop over to see what Deb's got going on over here, because but thank you, Cynthia. That was beautiful and so rustically handmade with love.
Oh, it was love for sure.
Well, I think I took a right turn out of Sundance. I don't know, but I've got my 2 strands attached. So what I did was this finding. So this is what this finding looked like. So it's got the loop that would traditionally be at the top, and you would be doing something down here, like maybe some brick stitch and fringe. But I used it to attach my 2 strands, and I used the bone soft flex. So I thought that would kind of blend nicely with some of the tones I'm working with. So I've attached 2 strands, and then I ran the 2 strands through a couple of crimp tubes up top here. And then I put a decent sized jump ring through the double loop and attached a lobster claw. And so the intent is to come around and attach to this piece here. So in order to do that, I had to add a jump ring, which I did in between there's four wrapped stones, my jump rings in the center, and then I attached a second jump ring because it would be tough to get that lobster in there. So then you're just going to take your lobster and attach, and you've got kind of this fun closure. Now, it was just a hair too short. So, we're working through this again, like you're live. It's not going to be as perfect as you would like it to be, but I probably would have not wanted an additional, such a large jump ring here. And I didn't like how my crimps were looking at the ends. So I added a bunch of dangles, and I feel like that's where I took the right turn out of Sundance. But then again, this picture, so here's one of my inspirations, like this picture, they've got some dangles off of this ring here. So maybe I didn't take a right turn.
I think it's totally Sundance because they've got all those cool little unexpected pops of flair. And so I think it's right in line with a lot of the styles. It's beautiful.
Thanks. It's very, asymmetrical, kind of color blocked, kind of a lot of the mix of the things that I saw in those pictures. So I'm loving, though, all of the variation of orange. I mean, this is all about where I'm focused right now. I'm just loving the orange tones. Kristen, the sunset kit, I loved playing with that because it's all just sort of tones of the sunset. And, you and I are in Arizona where we see some incredible sunsets all the time. So
we do. We have some lucky, beautiful sunsets for sure.
Yeah. So this is feeling very much like a sunset to me. The Sundance sunset.
I love it.
It's fun.
It's really fun. I agree. I think there's, Caroline says, use so many variations that you can make with this. I think it's such a beautiful, beautiful design template. And
Carolyn?
Yeah, Becky's agreeing. She sees dangles in Sundance for sure.
Thank you, Becky. I feel better now.
Lots of juxtaposition.
I think I'm the only one that hasn't used the word. So yeah, there's a lot of juxtaposition in this bracelet.
There you go. Now you're on board.
That's fun.
Awesome. I'm going to pop over and show you guys what I've been doing. My hands are not working for me very well tonight. I have been sick this week, so I was saying before that my hands are super swollen. I'm not even able to wear any of my rings, and because of that, my dexterity of them is just not working out. But I've gotten some fun stringing done. I just don't know if I'll be able to successfully finish everything. I made this super simple. This was like my little, let's see if we can make anything.
It's pretty.
It is pretty, right? It's a super simple
Gorgeous.
earring. And I did use my collage. I'll come back to it real fast because I used one of the pictures in the collage. It's those ones on the far right in the middle. They just have the little discs at the bottom. They're silver and gold, which I know Sundance does a lot of the fun mixed metals. But I just used that same just kind of drop shape. I made it maybe a little bit longer, and I used those garnet pinch beads from the Sunset Splendor kit and those sweet little, I think they're like a dusty rose color, also from the Sunset Splendor kit. And then these I had picked up at a live sale. So I made those long dangles. And then this is, I'm like Deb, I kind of feel like I went a little off the Sundance path with this one, but I was inspired by a picture. I'm gonna bring it up and show you. There was a picture I really was thinking of. Oh, is it? Oh, maybe it's not on here. Oh, shoot. I must not have taken, it was on the original collage and I probably took it out, but it was very different than this. It had all metal on one side, and then it had leather on the other side, and in between the leather were these silver little, almost looking like little square crimps. So the idea is from them in terms of having all of those pieces of wire, but they use leather. And I've got the garnet and the antique brass softlex here. And I went with 5 strands. These really big, all these beads are from the Sunset Splendor kit. And I was able to fit the 5 strands easily through all of these. So these all had nice big holes on that end. And then on this end, I went and played with where I kind of space those beads out, and I tried to catch 2 wires here and there with those little squares and those faceted ovals. And then I'm going to crimp all the way at the end here. I'm using a 3x3 crimp tube to be able to use all of these wires, and I'm using my mighty crimper, so it's a big enough size for it. And what I'll do here is I'll just crimp all of these down, just like you would the regular crimp. It would just, you use the back notch, create a little divot, turn it on its side, go into that front notch, and then you'll close it. And then I'll go around a few times to really cinch it down. And then what you can do from this point is you can trim off everything except for 1 wire. And then I'm going to add a little button closure. And I have this sweet button clasp. It's one of the Tiara cast ones. Maybe Abbi still has some of these in her shop. I don't know. But I thought I'll make a little button closure on one end. And on the other end, I already crimped that on that end really close there. I'll do the same thing. I will trim off all of the wires except for 1. And then I think I'll add some little seed beads to make the loop on this side to attach to my button. And that part feels pretty Sundancey.
That is gorgeous.
Thanks.
Creative.
Love it.
That's pretty.
Thank you. I had to figure out what I could string that was going to like work with my really swollen fingers today.
Oh,
It's
And so I
pretty.
couldn't get delicate with it, but I ended up thanks. Thank you. Let me pop over to somebody else. Who else would like to? Danielle, we haven't seen you in a while. What are you up to?
I definitely took a right turn as well.
Oh my goodness. What do you got going on?
I found a spool of thread and couldn't help myself. I had a spool sitting here from something else I must have been working on, and suddenly that happened.
You are so fast. Wow, you did
Amazing.
all that,
That would have
Holy
taken me
smokes.
2 weeks.
right?
Well, it's 3-drop or 2 or 3-drop, so it makes it like seam. Bigger deal?
Oh,
Yeah, it's easier. faster.
smart.
Yeah. And so if someone has extra beads, they can just take their beads from the kit and just go crazy like that.
I love that.
Beautiful.
That's amazing.
What good texture.
Thank you. Thanks.
Delicious.
You could probably even like utilize both styles in the same design to get that like juxtaposition look that Sundance does a lot too. So like you could do maybe like I don't know, sheet of leather. That's not the right word. What am I trying to
Ooh.
say? Like a
Oh, like a-
wider like fabric.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
Yep.
about. I did see that on here.
Yeah.
Let me go. I'm going to go to the website and pull that up. I think I can do like a share screen
Okay,
because
cool.
I think I know exactly what you're saying, Abby.
Yeah, I'm on the website too, and I can't find it, but I saw it.
I saw it earlier for sure. So it's got to be on here.
Yeah.
One of our staff members, Jenny, she and I were talking the other day about just like planning for this event and like what different projects we could feature. And we talked about this really cool mosaic pendant that we thought we could reproduce with Tila beads. I've been kind of thinking about it for a while, and Jenny's really great at stuff like that. So I thought let's sit down and try and find the inspiration piece that we want to kind of do differently. And we could not find it. We found something similar, but I was like, am I losing it? I know it existed a few days ago, but maybe they completely sold out of it. I don't know. Oh, I found it, Kristen.
Oh, I found 2 of them. So
good.
I'm curious if you found the same one.
The one that I was talking about was the windflower.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty.
Isn't that pretty? So it's
Love
on a
that.
thick piece of leather. And then let me see. I found another one. And then if you want to put the link for the one that you found, I'll pull it up on the share screen too.
Okay, I put it in the private chat.
Okay, perfect. This was the other one I saw, which used more like instead of one big piece of leather, it had multiple strands.
Ooh, I love that.
Let me see what this one is. Oh, okay. So yeah, I saw this one, but I didn't think that this was what you were thinking of. So I'm glad you shared that link.
Words are hard, so I definitely did not describe it well.
Beautiful. Let's share that one.
Oh, I like that one.
Oh, let me get off there we go.
Ooh, I love that.
So by
pretty.
sheet of leather, I meant like a strap, right? Like that's
Yes.
that's the word. I'm a
Super
metalsmith,
cool.
so forgive me that my terms.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Good. That's so cool. That looks like ultra suede. Like a
Yeah.
It does look like ultra suede. Yeah, it looks really soft.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so cool. I want to do that.
So fun. Oh my gosh. Does anyone else want to share anything else that's going on? What are you doing over there, Abby?
Oh, I was just scrolling the Sundance website. I need to pay attention.
Carolyn says 3 cheers for Danielle beating away. Yeah, she totally was. She got in the zone.
Got in the zone.
I was like, oh, I haven't heard Danielle's voice in a while. What's going on over there?
I reached a point where I started to miscount and make mistakes. So that's
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Oh, it's so true, Mary. I have seen Kate do something similar to that on Bead Shop, like the ones I showed in the beginning with the thick leather or the group of leather.
I wonder if they have a tutorial. I feel like they do. I feel like they have a where they did peyote stitch with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beadshop.com.
I know they had that class that all the leather was going into. The gluing in the ends like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
It is neat. So I didn't mention it yet, but we do have a sale happening at Softlex Company where it is 15% off all of our new items. And it would include this kit because this kit is in our little new category. So you just go to our website at softlexcompany.com, click on our new section, and everything in there is 15% off right now until, well, through the weekend. Does anyone else have any sales going on? I think, Abby, you mentioned one earlier. Do you want to mention that again?
I'm not sure how much of that you guys were able to hear because that was when my Wi-Fi was being wacky. But the code Sundance 20 is going to get you 20% off goodness, now words are really hard. The Jumbo Inspiration turquoise kit box. Yeah. So there's a ton of strands of turquoise magnesite in here, and you get 20% off if you use the code Sundance20. And then we also had the starter kit for the green angelite necklace that I am working on right now. So it has the coin, a strand of the super high-end angelite, and then a clasp and chain, and that one is already discounted. So normally that would be about $100, and then the price that it is right now is about $11 off, so about a little over 10% off, I think. So the box that we showed, or that I showed earlier, is about 80 inches of beads. And that's, oh, thanks for spotlighting.
Yeah.
That's this fun collection. So you can either string it all together in a necklace like this, and just wrap it or wear it really long, or you can use the pieces individually. But there's a lot of cute little bits and baubles in here that you can use to create your own fun designs with these components. So
beautiful. Yes, Abby does sell the bent nose tweezers as well that she used earlier. You can find that on her website too. And I did, Softlex Company did put the links to both the angelite and the turquoise kits that she has for you.
Thanks, Kristen.
You're welcome. I didn't realize you had both of them in there, so I'm sorry I didn't do that earlier for both of them. But now they're both
okay. Yeah, this was just an add-on because I didn't want to. So we only have 25. Actually, I don't know how many we have now, but we only have 25 of these jumbo kits available. So I wanted to not use another one of these and take it out of inventory so that more people could get these because they're such a good deal. So that's why I added this on last minute. It was just a backup fun project that I've been wanting to do for a while. So sorry to add another one in there on you.
perfect. No, it's perfect. I love it. Such a great idea.
Thanks.
Because the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Cynthia, you want to come back and see what you're up to?
If you would like to see my redemption from
There you go. That's what I was hoping for.
Big fail. So here I went back and did a new crimp and crimped here and put a little, so it would have a little bit of, when I used just the Softlex here, it looked kind of anemic, it didn't quite look right. So I put this to give it a better flow. See what I mean? So then when you put it on, and then I redid this. There, see, I can actually wear
that. Looks nice.
That's a lot better than the garbage I did a few minutes ago when I was live action.
Did you change the gauge that you worked with, or did you stick with 22?
Oh, no, I went to the gauge. I also dropped this one that I was just using. It rolled under the table, and it was the copper color. I feel like that's okay. I don't know. I could go
Yeah.
in. If you do this, you know what you need to do. You need to go back in and drop some copper. And I will put some like little head pins and dingle dangle some jewels. That way you get the multicolored look. So if you use it here, you need to dingle it right over here or a charm here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, make it look intentional.
Instead of like, I
Purposeful.
didn't want to go digging for the other color of wire.
Right.
Which is what happened. I think a lot of times when we do mixed metals, we're like, okay, that spool's upstairs. How badly do I want that? How badly do I need that to match? And the answer is usually not that bad.
Not really that bad.
Right.
It's not that important to do that. Oh, I wanted to mention Azalea and we just finished up a crochet necklace kit. I was sitting here looking at it. It was on my bracelet. And you know what? I even got someone reminding me and saying, hey, I like that necklace you're wearing. And it escaped my brain then. But here, this is a workshop that we finally finished. It's on our website on the, I think it's under workshop or downloadable. So if you'd like to learn exactly how I make these type of necklaces, I have a complete tutorial that we just dropped 2 weeks ago. So on our last
Amazing.
GBE, I think. Wasn't that
Amazing. I
Yeah.
have to still watch that. And I've always admired your necklaces. So I'm very excited to see that.
Oh, thank you.
I've been trying to crochet. I actually did try and crochet after TGBE because of all of the crochet inspiration. And it was kind of a mess. But
well, sometimes it's hard. If you learn knitting first, it's like learning how to weld after you've soldered, or and vice versa. It's like it doesn't want to come naturally. You kind of have to fight with that tension. But I feel like if you stick with it and you just accept and not try to force it, it's a little bit easier, if that makes sense,
It does. It does make sense. I gave it a go for I think I tried like 5 or 6 little pieces and kept cutting it and trying again, just regular yarn. But I was laughing because I watched Emmy Ryland's video, and she talks about the slip knot, but she didn't show how to do it. And I was like, oh boy, I got to go Google how to do a slip knot. Like, I don't even know how to do that. So
So you're like that. So you're a true beginner with that.
I was like, 5 seconds in, pause her, go Google how to do a slip knot.
That would be me, Kristen.
Kristen, you know what you need to do? You should come to St. Louis and crochet with us. You should take a class from Emmy here at the store. And then while you're here, you should teach classes and hang out with me and Becky and
I love that
paint
idea.
and gel print.
I love
That
it.
would be so fun. And
That would be
everybody
so
should come.
That's fun.
I should bring all of my beading friends
Yeah.
and yarn friends and crafty friends.
That sounds fun. Anytime you have a group of ladies together crafting, it can only be a good time, I feel like.
So
Yes.
true.
Yep.
So true.
right.
Look at all that beautiful yumminess you got going on over there. So you've got a beautiful Peter site kit, you've got the crochet necklace workshop, and you've got all of those gorgeous pendants that you shared with us.
They're on my website, most of them, unless they're not on my website, then they might be on Kate's website. Bead shop.
There you
Sometimes
go.
I'm not great at putting things on my business page. You know how that goes. It's better to make things than to do business. Oh wait, no. I mean, it's better
100%.
for someone else to do the business part and then you craft. That's that's my story. I'm sticking with it.
Hey, Cynthia.
Delia does it. There you go.
Cynthia, do you have that cool moon circle handy? I think it might be hiding underneath one of your heart pendant. Oh, there it is. You know, you were showing that earlier and I didn't want to interrupt, but I want to just say that piece would be so perfect as a transitional piece between like super gemmy, like kind of almost bulky, multi-strand, faceted, like yummy, wonderful beads at the bottom of a necklace, and then have those as like the transitional link to just switch to a like a deerskin strap. I just that was what I saw earlier when you picked up the little piece of leather to do the bail. I just in my mind I was like, oh yeah, that's the piece that would be the start and stop for the multi-strand gemstones connecting to the leather strap. And I think, Kristen, did you show a piece earlier that was kind of like that, or am I imagining that just because I've been on the Sundance website so much?
Let me see. Was it on the collage
I
or
don't remember.
let's see what we got here.
Yeah, maybe. Oh no, that's not the same one, is it?
I don't think so.
It might just be on the main page of Sundance then. If I find it, I will send it. But the Sundance does that a lot, where they use these like really cool artisan looking links to switch between beadwork at the bottom and then some kind of like leather strap or cord at the top. And I just think that that piece would be perfect, Cynthia.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I also, when I was working on this, I kind of thought, hey, this is good for like a collection of charms.
Yes.
You could put in, so you could dangle some pieces like this. You could just have, just a little spray of really pretty little gems.
Yes.
Glass or whatever,
It's like a little treasure, pendant where you can put lots of different storytelling things there.
Exactly. Or like, how people will say, oh, this gemstone's for my grandson or my daughter, or, like their birthdays, or, just a special collection of beads that if you were traveling, it would be a good way to remember your trip, and you can add and subtract. Do you guys remember Sundance or Stringing Magazine? You remember those days?
Yes, I love those. Such a good magazine.
That was one of my most, like, people loved it when I did a charm necklace like that. It was always a big hit to do a ring of some sort and a little tassel of beads, beads and charms. It was always a real hit. And sometimes I think about that, like how that was so fun to, make those types of necklaces. I haven't made them in a while, but
that's a nice idea, Clem is saying you could just keep adding to it over time too, kind of like an alternative to Pandora. Like you can keep adding a little charm or adding a little extra something to it.
You know what I used to do is I'd get a little small like piece of chain and a teeny tiny lobster clasp or spring clasp if I wanted to change them out. And you know what? I didn't really change them out all that often, but the possibility to do that was kind of fun, So if I wanted to change it with, I would make like almost like a tiny necklace, if you can imagine it. I was making doll necklaces and I was like, oh, you know what? I could put these all on one thing to keep them from getting tangled up. And then when they were on the ring, it looked juicy. So
love that idea. And that Abbi just sent me the link for what she was thinking of on the Sundance website. So I'm going to see. I think it's this one.
The second link I sent was better, but they both kind of have the same idea.
So there's the first one with the two smaller links at the top with the beads down the front and then the leather in the back.
I love that. I like that the links too. They do have a lot of artisan links. You do that so then it's kind of hard for someone to copy.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the main reason is, you know what? That's almost impossible unless you can manufacture it your own. So, oh, I love that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
you can
cool.
use those.
Pretty.
You can use those links all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So lovely.
So many ideas. So many wonderful, wonderful ideas. Cynthia is a master at all of those beautiful components and pendants. It's perfect.
Thank you. Deb, I like that tray you're working. It's kind of magical. That's like, okay, I'm going to have to do that too now.
It's
Like
it's
you're
a
working
thrifty.
over a silvery pool.
Right?
It's a thrift store find.
Oh, it's a good one.
That's
I'm
a good one.
always loving these kinds of finds at the thrift store.
That's the
It's
best.
nice because it's like shiny but doesn't like distract, you know? It's kind of like brushed maybe.
It's like shell kind of.
Oh, you know what? That's Capiz shell from the land of my mom's people,
Is it?
the Philippines. Yeah, that looks like Capiz shell. You remember they used to make mobiles out of that in the 70s and 80s?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes. Now I
They
see
have
it.
You know
Oh,
what?
that's
I used to
gorgeous.
have on my table these bowls made out of that. They were really lightweight, but boy, I tell you, they were fragile. Just so, I mean, you looked at them the wrong way and they would chip. But you know what? I kept using them even though they were chipped.
Sometimes you've got to do that because you love them so much.
I did. I had them for years and years and they were chewed up.
Oh, I'm so sad at myself right now because I did not leave myself enough soft flex to make my little connection into my button loop, and I'm trying to make it work. But it's like one of those tedious things where you're like, I just need more wire.
Oh, yeah, I hate that story when you're like right at the end and you have left yourself 1 centimeter of line to shove through a crimp, tug it through, and
It's not
have
enough.
enough to crimp. You're like, you know what? Should I start over?
I know.
Remove 2 beads.
Do you guys want to know why I added the little dangles on my like turquoise wraparound necklace thingy with that like spiral link? There's 3 little beaded dangles on there, and it's because I ran out of wire and had 3 beads left over. And I was like, I was gonna use all of the beads. Now what? So I just added little dangles.
See?
And that's the only reason why they're there.
Happy accident.
And I totally zoomed right in on that and was like, I love your 3 little dangles. That's why those things are amazing. They sometimes make things happen that wouldn't have on its own.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I did it. I think I did it, but I didn't end up using it's not really done well.
No one would ever know.
Right? I'm like, I know, but
I guess it's true when they say necessity is the mother of invention.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mhm.
I agree. I think a lot of times that helps us kind of come up with some interesting problem solving.
I definitely think that jewelry makers are problem solvers. That's what we're doing.
Yes.
We love a puzzle.
Yes. A good challenge.
It's like, how do I string these beads that have too small of a hole? What can I use?
I feel like that's a common story for you, Cynthia, because you love those teeny tiny beads.
Oh, I do. I love those micro facets. I can't get enough. I always tell Zoe, I'm like, let's put some sugar on that. Because it's kind of like, like when you get a cookie, what are those cookies? A sugar cookie where it's all sparkling on top.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. You're putting that extra bit of tasty flavor in there.
so funny. Oh, Abby's sending me more links.
Oh, I sent that. Yeah, that was like at the tail end of our.
Oh, with the other one?
conversation. Yeah, but it's still beautiful, and it
It is.
it would be a great way to use up some beautiful like statement storytelling pieces, like a lot of the Green Girl charms and like the cross. I don't know. I just
Yeah, I agree. Well,
it
now that we're
tells a
talking
story.
about it, let's bring it on screen.
Okay. If you don't mind.
Oh yeah, that's
Ooh.
quintessential Sundance, isn't it?
It is. Let
Yeah,
me
and if,
see.
I was gonna say if you scroll down that cross right there with the gold in the middle, Cynthia, you've got that cross that has the like little circle bezel or oval bezel in the middle.
Yeah, that's, you know what I did that for? So that if you had a little cab, you could pop that in there and glue it. Or even better, if you have a little bit of some UV resin and some pigment powders, you can get in there and put a little UV resin drop. And then you have a little colorful little spot right in there.
Mm.
Yeah.
That is true. Super cool. I love that.
You could get a similar effect. It won't be 24 karat gold in the middle unless you have some, you know, that delightful gold foil. Pop some of that in the bottom.
Oh
Burnish
yeah.
it down.
Mhm.
Or even
Then
like a little
it's
brass
UV.
disc. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
low cost way to get that metal look.
Mm. Or you could even put a little, a little tiny spacer or something would fit in there. Let me see.
Yeah. A spacer.
Oh, yeah, that would be really cute.
Yeah, that one doesn't quite fit it. But if you had a gold one, could you imagine?
To mix
That
metal
fit?
it. Oh,
Yes.
That
Then
would
you
be
could really
perfect.
get a good mixed metal look. Let me see if that one would fit in there. Oh,
and you guys, that necklace was like $2,000.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Holy smokes.
Holy smokes. Look at that. I love that. Was that a stone?
That's
That
that
the
Peter
Peter
site.
site?
That was the edge of the Peter site. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
You know what you
Beautiful.
could do to like hide that hole? You could get like a ball pen and
Love
just
it.
put it down in there, like cut it short, and then it looks intentional.
Right?
You've got
Yeah.
ball pens right there.
People would be like, "You did what now? You put a piece of gold? That's right. Why did you do that? Because I wanted to be fancy."
Because I'm an artist. That's why.
Yeah. So then you can visualize the look.
Oh, I love it.
Let's bend that in there and see.
Super cool.
Yeah,
So
intentional.
pretty.
Wow. So
That's
pretty.
perfect.
Yeah, I need to just punch a hole in the bottom of that, and that'd be. Yeah, I do like a cross. This one has a little bird on it. Put a bird on it.
Pretty.
Put a bird on it.
You guys remember that story?
That
Yes.
was so funny. Oh my gosh.
If you're ever in question of what to do, you just put a bird on it.
Right.
Mhm.
Everybody loves birds.
Everybody.
Put a bird on it.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody actually know anyone else that are like, I hate birds? No one.
I've heard it, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, that's so random.
Because I don't know. They're just so magical. Could you imagine?
I mean, they
if you
fly.
could-
I mean,
I
that's
know. If you could fly like a bird, oh, I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah, that's an incredible superpower. I often like to imagine myself flying with like if I had my head on a bird's body, that would be pretty fantastic. Although I like having hands, so
I know you need both.
yeah. That's the sacrifice. If you can fly, then if you have a bird head, then
Pick your poison.
I
There you
agree. Becky says that would make a great t-shirt because I'm an artist. That's why.
Mhm. And she's correct.
Amanda,
That would be a
you
really
can-
good shirt.
Amanda's been putting birds on her work for as long as she can remember. Yes, Amanda, you make beautiful birds. I have some of Amanda's bird. Actually, I don't have any anymore. I think I have one left, but she makes these gorgeous cards, and I've given them all away except for, I think I kept one for myself. I need more cards, Amanda.
It sounds good.
Beautiful artwork with birds on it. Well, this has been a blast. I've had a really, really nice time hanging out with everybody. Is there any last words from anyone or last showings you want to share?
If we can stretch this out for another 1 minute, I
got
will
it.
have finished my necklace.
Let's stretch
No,
it.
We
I'm
can
just
make
kidding.
that
We don't have
sacrifice for you, Abby.
I have like one more bead to go.
I see Danielle is just a cool cucumber over here, just hanging out with her piece all
Well, I
done
ran
up
out of
there.
thread and I'm too lazy to add more. Plus, I was making little errors, so I decided
It was time.
Yeah, I'll make sure when I start finishing it. It's halfway done though. So.
Yeah, it looks
Beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah, really pretty. You know that you did that really quickly. I don't know that I've ever made that much beadwork that fast ever.
Aw, well, your crochet is super fast.
No, it's not really that fast. It's the only part of that that's fast is the actual crochet. Stringing those beads is not fast.
Oh yeah, stringing for like the bead crochet ropes and stuff. Yeah, that takes.
That's what takes. It feels like your whole life.
Yes, for sure.
Are you going to share this pattern with the kit, Danielle, just as an
You know
option?
what? I
for
think I'm
people?
gonna need to because I was gonna do about 15 or so grams of the seed beads, and I just calced it out. You'll have enough to do 7 inches of this plus that.
Oh, wow.
So you'll have so many leftover beads. You need more inspo for it.
That's amazing.
Or you could just
You're
go
so
along
nice.
with what we were talking about earlier. You can make that go.
Right. But it's nice to have the option to give it a try and make that piece. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'll just write up a quick pattern.
Amanda, Anne is asking if you have a website for your cards. If you do, drop it in the comments.
I'm done nodding. I don't have my clasp over here, but I just want to thank you all because I'm the kind of person who needs the threat of someone watching me to get anything done. and look, I nodded it all. So thank you all.
Great.
Couldn't have done it without you.
It looks amazing.
Thank
Hey,
you.
let me see your pendant. Did you just add it in while you were nodding, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so what I do, because I never want to have to do the math to figure out how much string I'm going to need, I just string everything first while it's on the spool. So I strung half of my beads, then I added the pendant, then I strung the other half of my beads, and then I just knotted like that direction towards my spool so that I didn't have to figure out how much cord I needed.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it. 2 beautiful ideas
Thank
and
you.
designs and kits. Love it. Love it.
Thank you. I think we all did great tonight, guys. Everybody's
so,
designs are awesome.
Good.
I lost my my hand cam because my phone was tired and died on me. So I will share. I'll have to share my finished piece up here. So here is where I ended. And this is the only place. So if see right here, the little button closure, I didn't end up with enough seed beads to go all the way around because I couldn't get my fingers with the little bit of wire I had left to get them on there and loop. But you wouldn't know it if you're just looking at it like that.
No. Well, and you could say that it was just like an intentional design choice to add more whimsy to it,
Right.
you know?
So that you would sometimes see all of the beads and sometimes wouldn't. Okay, we'll go with that. But yeah, I'll take a picture of it so you can get a better view and share it in the Softlex VIB studio group. And I think all of us might have like groups and stuff that you can share it in. These are my simple little earrings I made too in the beginning. So those are real. I'll probably wear these like all the time, actually, now that I'm looking at them. They feel like one of those designs that will just go with everything.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They're great.
Thanks. So check us out in the Softlex VIB studio group. I will share. Actually, if all of you guys send me a picture of what you made, we will put a blog together and then everyone can see all of the finished pieces in one place too. So I'd be happy to do that.
That's awesome. Thanks,
Will
Kristen.
do. Yeah. Thank you, Kristen.
Does anyone else want to share any final pieces? Let me pop myself off here.
I made a secondary bracelet out of the little stones and a tiny little heart.
Aw.
The little
That's
heart
so sweet.
bead. So it kind of goes with the other one. And I have a couple pairs of earrings as well. They're not necessarily Sundance, but I couldn't stop making stuff. So
You guys are fast. You, Danielle, you are like speed beaters. She's like, I just whipped out a multi-strand bracelet, a simple bracelet, 2 pairs of earrings.
sorry.
Beautiful, Deb. They're amazing.
Thank you.
I love it. I'm just envious of not being able to bead that quickly.
It's about the process, right?
It's about the process for sure. This has been so much fun. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Be sure to check us all out at DanielleWickesJewelry.com, beadplace.net. Deb Floros, Deb, what's your website, or would you like people to go?
I don't have a website, but you can find me on social media, just about anywhere, either as Deb Loves Designs or Deb Loves Jewelry Designs, and Loves is spelled Luvs.
You got it. And then, of course, Cynthia over at Green Girl Studios and us over at SoftLexCompany.com. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I did see that Amanda shared her cards and her website. Let me pop it up here for just a second. There you go, Amanda Cross Art. Go check her out. All of your birdie goodness in paint and collage. Mixed media, I guess I would say, right, Amanda? All right, everybody. Love you all. I hope you were
Kristen,
inspired.
for hosting.
Oh, you're so welcome. I know I've been super inspired. I hope you guys were all inspired. And stay tuned for another Inspired By in the future.
Yay.
It was fun hanging out with you all. We'll see
Yeah.
you later.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys. Bye.